And next I want to bring up one of our strongest advocates and leaders who have been on this issue for over 14 years in the immigration issue, realizing that the system is broken, trying to come up with comprehensive immigration legislation, and really has come up with this Strive Act that deals with all aspects of what the public would want. I'd like to bring up at this time our leader, Luis Gutierrez, head of our task force.
Thank you. First, I want to thank you so much. The video, 2.5 minutes. What a lot of information. It was really wonderfully produced. The report, I read it. I get a lot of reports as members of Congress. What a wonderful report, how educational. And you know, it's almost like you said, I knew that, but you didn't have the, I don't know, the ammunition, right? And it's all there. You know, it really laid it out in such a concise and such a useful manner. So I want to thank everybody. Somebody had to watch all those programs and document all of that information. And I want to say thank you for putting together. You know, I just want to say that in this country we have a profound freedom to think and to say what we wish. It was Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes who said that our Constitution guarantees, quote, the principle of free thought, not free thought for those who agree with us, but freedom for those who we hate. Our press is especially and properly covetous of that right. But you know, there's a big difference between right and responsibility. And quite frankly, there are some in today's media who are failing to live up to their responsibility and uphold journalistic standards of balance and accuracy. When a broadcaster shades the news with words of fear and intolerance, he is abusing the trust of the American viewership. When a broadcaster purports to value accuracy but fails to deliver information free from bias, he is failing the American people who rely on him. We rely on the news for more than fear-inspiring myths of immigrants coming to take away our jobs, the jobs of native-born Americans, drugs coming across our borders at the hands of illegal immigrants. We rely on news to give us balance in their stories like the immigrant soldier who saw our country in crisis after September 11 and came here to fight for the values of democracy we hold. And so, I just want to say that we've been fighting hard, and it's really hard to get a legislative balance here in terms of what we do, in great measure because of the way the media portrays the issue and the impact it has. I have been a guest on Lou Dobbs' show 8, maybe about 10 times. I've been a guest. I was on set. Thank you for watching. I was watching. I've been a guest about 10 times. And I'm going to tell you something, and I've shared this with Mr. Dobbs. When I return to my office, I wish, or maybe the next time I appear on the program, I will invite the media to come to my office and to hear the phone calls that I received after showing up on Lou Dobbs. Go back to your country. Why are you supporting those criminals? And I kept saying, go back to Chicago. Chicago's not a separate country. I mean, if you would hear their voices, I mean, very angry, vitriolic voices filled with fear and with hatred of people who call my office each and every time I appear. That's the viewership. Those are the people. That's what they're inspiring in people. Based on what? On myths, as we know. We were here in 1996 when we passed welfare reform. Everybody seems to forget welfare reform. And we said during welfare reform that if you're undocumented in this country, as a matter of fact, if you're a legal permanent resident, you must wait 5 years before you're eligible for any Social Security. And moreover, you must become a citizen of the United States of America if you become disabled in order to collect supplemental Social Security income. So you're going to pay in the system. I mean, you can call Social Security any day, and any one of these reporters can do this. There are billions of dollars every year put into an account because they cannot pay that money out. Billions of dollars every year put in an account. Which account is that? The account of undocumented workers. in this country. I always said there must be 2 lines at the cash register when I go. The one for the undocumented that don't pay the 9.75% sales tax on everything they buy, and the one that I get into where I pay the sales tax. It's almost as though you pump your gas, and in the city of Chicago anyway, we have a city tax, we have a county tax, we have a state tax, we have a federal tax. Every time you fill that tank full of gasoline, you pay all of those taxes. And I don't know if you've noticed, I have a cable bill that has a city tax and it has a state tax. Oh, right? And my phone bill has a city tax, has a federal tax. I mean, just about anything that we do. And moreover, while they do pay their percentage in terms of property taxes by paying rent, we find increasing numbers of undocumented and immigrants in general that pay what? They buy their homes. And they're paying real estate taxes. And to think that they don't pay federal income taxes, well, if the employer isn't sending the money, it's one more reason for comprehensive immigration reform, because I assure you it's getting deducted from their check. And so maybe. And so what we're really talking about here is, let's have some balance in this. Why don't we ever hear about the stories of the immigrants who die in Iraq? About the young immigrant man who crossed the country, who crossed the border undocumented, lied as much as he could to get his legal permanent residency, changed his age, did become, and what was the first thing that young man did? Commit a crime? No, he joined the Marines. And he was the first fatality in our invasion of Iraq. I mean, why is it that we cannot have balance in terms of the kinds of jobs that immigrants actually perform in our society? And you know, the drug thing, yeah, it's coming from Mexico and we're consuming it. American citizens are consuming it. Why is it that we don't have programs in which we do critical evaluations about what we do to stop the drug uses here in the United States of America by American citizens, which is causing the debacle of the Mexican government in great measure? The moment we stop consuming it is the moment they'll stop delivering it. And as long as we consume it, we have a responsibility here in the United States of America to look at the drug. It is almost as though the Mexican government passed the wand, and on every street corner, the Tijuana cartel is selling drugs to our children. And then we'll get into who really consumes the most drugs, and it's really not an inner city population, but out in the suburbs. And if you really want to know, just come to my neighborhood and see all of the plates from all of the suburban plates that come in, from all of suburbia that comes in on weekends to inner city neighborhoods. So those are the kinds of things that I think that we should have a debate and a discussion about. What is the road to having balance in this issue, and what is the responsibility of these gentlemen? And lastly, the superhighway. Think about it. And Glenn Beck says, and I'm the only one reporting it, because you're the only one stupid enough to report this. You're the only one moronic enough to report this. I mean, think about it. 4 football, you heard it, right? 4 football fields wide. It's 100 yards. Last time I checked, you had to run to get a touchdown. It's 400 yards, ladies and gentlemen, coming across America, and not one of us has noticed it. But there's not been a sighting of this superhighway. But, you know, it speaks to the silliness and to their lack of even looking into this issue. So I want to say to Media Man, thank you so much. I really found the information in the report, as someone who is an advocate, someone who has to go and challenge every day. Wow, I was like, good. They finally gave me the good information. Thank you so much for all of your hard work.